Welcome in Craft and Design 3.0. For my dear guys, for my dear audience. In this video, I will describe some different and much beautiful ideas of metal rocket stove design or metal rocket stove craft and different ideas. So, my dear guys, when we talk about rocket stove, then different question arise in our mind, like is what is the concept of rocket stove, or what metal is used in stoves, or who invented the metal stove, or what material is used for rocket stoves. So, my dear guys, rocket stoves are small, compact fuel burners designed to maximize fuel efficiency and reduce emissions. Great for developing countries where wood for fuel is scarce. So they run on just a handful of twigs, and the high heat can boil water much more quickly than an open fire. So, what metal is used in stoves? Carbon steel, mild steel, or cast iron. So, the same principles apply to these as to the portable stoves. Both mild steel and cast iron conduct well for cooking and emit a good amount of radiant heat. Although the lightweight properties of carbon steel are less important here. So, who invented the metal stove? And early and famous example of a metal stove, the Franklin stove was allegedly invented by Benjamin Franklin in 1742. It had a labyrinthine path for hot, exhausted gases to escape, thus allowing heat to enter the room instead of going up the chimney. So, what material is used for rocket stove? So, my dear guys, material needed 2 by 20 liter oil cans, easily found outside your local kebab shop, cooking pot, lots of wood, ash. So, my dear guys, when we talk about its advantages, its beneficial purpose of a rocket stove, what are so rocket stove are designed to burn fuel more completely using the heat produced to heat the food or surroundings. This means they use less wood in comparison with the conventional stove. Efficient combustion of the fuel is ensured by the rocket shape of the stove, which allows air to flow in completely. So, basic concept of rocket when we talk about a rocket in its simplest form is a chamber enclosing a gas under pressure. So, small opening at one end of the chamber allows the gas to escape, and in going, so provides a thrust that propels the rocket in the opposite direction. So, a good example of this is a balloon. So, what is the construction material of stove? The stove body is either made of cast iron or steel sheet with a fire clay lining. So cast iron has always been one of the premium material. It is a stove construction material with the highest thermal conductivity and different cognitive. So the small metal pot and that the flame comes out of is called the burner. The metal pot on top of that, onto which you place a pot or pan for cooking, is called the grate fireplace. Have grates also. So my dear guys, fireplace have grates also, but they are shaped differently, and instead of holding and keeping up a pot, a pan, so they hold the logs. And function of stove, if we talk about, a stove is an appliance used to cook food by providing heat directly. So some stove are enclosed, and this leads to people confusing them for ovens, but not all stoves can cook food as some only provide heat. So who designed the stove? The modern kitchen range was invented by Sir Benjamin Thompson, Count Rumford in the 1790 as an active scientist and prolific inventor. He put the study of heat onto a scientific basis and developed improvement for chimneys, fireplaces, and industrial furnaces, which led to his invention of the kitchen range. So, my dear guys, when we talk about the history of a stove, to find the origin of the stove, one must go back to dynastic China. The first known cooking apparatus that completely enclosed a fire was built from clay during the Qin dynasty 2 to 1 to 7 BC. So, a few thousand miles to the west. The first record of a stove in Europe occurs in 1490 in the town of Alsace, France, and different others. So, how do stoves work? Where stoves have a convection system, cool air from within the room is drawn into the convection chamber. The air is heated and raised, and within a few minutes, the hot air flows out into the room. So the cooler air continues flowing in and is then heated, maintaining added heating efficiency. So, what is the principles of rocket stove? Rocket stove are open where the wood is fed in allowing lots of oxygen to be drawn into the unit. So, as the fire starts and the burn tunnel heats up, the rising hot air races up and the heat riser, drawing lots of air behind it. So, what is the history of a rocket stove? Larry Winiarski, technical director of Apraco, began developing the rocket stove in 1980 based on a Vita stove designed by Spam Baldwin and Ray discovered the principle of the system developed by Roman in hypocaust heating and cooking system. So, what shape is a rocket stove? A rocket stove is usually a simple L shape comprising combustion chamber, flue, and magazines to load wood in at the front, usually, but not always horizontally, and it can be a differentiate a vertical position. So, what are the component of rocket stove? Proposed prototype consists of a cylindrical combustion chamber, rectangular fuel magazine, pot skillet, and pot rest as shown in my these ideas. So the main feature of the stove are designed as follow in next the area of different L-shaped or AC determined using as a material. So, my dear guys, what is the objective of rocket stove? My dear guys, a rocket stove achieves efficient combustion of the fuel at a high temperature by ensuring a good air draft into the fire, controlled use of fuel, complete combustion of volatiles, and efficient use of resultant heat. So, my dear guys, what is the ratio of rocket stove design? But what the standard recommended jet tubes proportion are 1 proportion 2 proportion 3 uh, different categorical position. So, what is the main principle of rocket? The basic principle of rocket propulsion is Newton's third law, which explains that every action has an equal opposite reaction. It can be also these law, in fact, uh, preparate in this conjunction. So, what kind of metal is stove? Is a stove? The practical difference between the two types is that steel stoves heat up quicker and deliver heat to the room much faster and yeah, whereas cast iron, which is a traditional material for stove building, because it is much heavier, tend to take longer to build up heat and distribute it to a room. But my dear guys, in my video, especially prescribe the rocket stove design, rocket stove different um opportunities craft, opportuning craft. Sorry. So, my dear guys, it can be a well absorption, but not well absorption, because heat is a much contributive part, not contributive part in other materials or other different categorical positions. So, what is structure when we talk about a stove? It can be a stove may consist of control panel, one first of all, and knobs also. So, my dear guys, my these ideas I think that inspired you much, and if inspired, then subscribe my channel and like my video and share my video with your affectionate love. So, thank you very much, guys.